Welcome back. This is State of the Nation. Right behind me still, data feed still coming through in one place simultaneously on all our social media platforms. Let's get your thoughts as we progress on the program. You can be part of the show as well. Use the hashtag State of the Nation and tweet at _Gimba Umar. Well, it started on a small scale, but was soon to spread to 17 states, with the death toll put at 63 since it started. Lassa fever has again been recorded in Ogun State, and that's another story that we have. A victim is actually being treated for that at the moment, and the Commissioner for Health from Ogun State now joins me to look at the troubling issues there. I want to thank you so much indeed, Dr. Babatunde Ipaye, for talking to us on State of the Nation.
Good evening, Gimba.
Great. Now, you have seen what this scourge has become. One death too many recorded. Your state is the latest that has discovered this, as a matter of fact, just hours ago that happened. What have you been able to do to checkmate this spread?
Well, thank you for having me. The first case in Ogun State was discovered about 2 days ago. That is on the 3rd of February. You know that in Ogun State we've been on this. We've had our emergency preparedness since the first case came last year November in Bauchi State. As a proactive state, the governor had mobilized the team. Had given us a marching order to make sure that we keep an active surveillance on the state. Especially when we had the first case in Lagos, because the first case in Lagos at the Ahmadiyya Hospital. Ahmadiyya Hospital is just some 15 minutes drive from Ogun. So what we did was to mount an active surveillance, and 19 of those who had contact with that first case in Lagos actually reside in Ogun State. We have followed them for 21 days of their longest incubation period as a state that is proactive, and none of them had come down. But just 2 days ago, while we were mounting our surveillance, of course, our surveillance team discovered that there's somebody in a private hospital somewhere in Ota who had been treated for fever for more than 1 week, and the fever had not subsided, has not responded to common anti-malaria and antibiotic. And then we took the blood test immediately. We sent to the reference lab in Lagos, and it came out to be positive. But because we had prepared, we immediately moved the patient to the teaching hospital Shagamu. I can tell you that I spoke with the patient some 1 hour ago. She's doing very fine. She has just had her lunch. This afternoon, the temperature had crashed from 39.8 to 38.4.
These measures that you've put in place, are they adequate?
Yeah. What we did as a state is beyond the public enlightenment that we had started. I've done 4 press conferences on the directive of His Excellency. I've spoken to media houses. We have spoken to the communities. We have mobilized our medical officers of health in the 20 local governments of the state. We have, equipped our disease surveillance officers in the 20 local governments of the state. My epidemiologists are trained all health workers, both private and public, across Ogun State on 2 areas. 1, active detection. 2, how to prevent them, so what we call universal precaution. Okay, and we went ahead to set up 2 units, 2 isolation units in Ogun State, even when we had no case. We had a case at Iberekodo General Hospital, and I'm happy that Channel Television visited and showed the place. I saw it on channels some 1 week ago. We have another isolation center at the teaching hospital in Shagamu. These 2 centers have been ready for almost 2 weeks, even before we got the first case. And now the case came. Under 24 hours, we had her in our isolation unit, and she met the antiviral agent that would do the magic. She met the ribavirin injection at the center. And so even before she was brought out of the ambulance, she had the first shot. And as at 2 o'clock when I visited, she had her 4th dose of ribavirin, and she's responding well. That is what we have done as a state. That is very proactive.
No, but of course,
I need to give it to my boss, because he provided all that I needed to be this prepared.
Fantastic. So, now, as you know, that this disease has spread to well over 17 states across the Federation. You have been able to contain it. The first case that has been recorded after the last ones were recorded, the group of last ones that were recorded over 2 weeks ago or more. What tactics do you suppose that the governments of other states can adopt to be able to contain the spread of Lassa, especially in the northeast, where rats who are the carriers of this disease are predominantly found.
Well, let me tell you, for us as a state, this is the first case that we have. What I told you about our contacts, they are not cases, and not any of them came down with Lassa fever. But what I think we should do as a state is for everybody to be prepared. I mean, this is not only about Lassa. I mean, God forbid, Zika virus is in the air. I mean, we had Ebola. Even we have multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. And what we need to do is to prioritize primary care and public health. That's what we need to do. We don't want to. We shouldn't wait as a country, as a state, for emergencies to happen. We should have facilities in place to make sure that people are protected against contact with animals. Because, I mean, these are diseases that we know. There are 101 zoonotic diseases that can come from animal to man. But because we also know that environmental management is very key. I mean, government must invest in the environment. If you look at the mission to rebuild Ogun State that the government is beyond infrastructure development, it's also making the society clean and healthy. If you go to the Western world, 80% of the public health is managed because there's a good environment. There's a beautiful environment.
The key to solving Lassa fever is a healthy, clean environment.
Is managing the environment.
Is there a question, though, on the sanitation, government sanitation apparatus that you suppose should be addressed?
Yeah, I mean, for government sanitation and environmental management, these are like Siamese twins. And I give it to you. If you improve infrastructure, you build good roads, you do drainages, you're already managing the environment. And environmental sanitation will just come as, other key messages, and of course, changing orientation, changing behavior of the people, and making sure that people manage their waste. And the key strategy for managing waste is waste minimization. We must make sure that we retain most waste in the communities where most of the products that we bring to the cities are generated. And of course, to have a ministry or a group of people who manage our Ministry of Environment that are very responsive and reactive, and make sure that they take care of the waste as a business.
So what will be your final words now that you've been able to contain this?
Well, my final word is that we need to do two things before we pray. And I say it as my 3 Ps. Of course, prayer is the last P. The first is that we need to be preventive. And we should invest more in preventive health, personal hygiene, immunization where possible, maintaining clean environment. We don't need to wait for Lassa. What about diarrhea? What about other diseases? What about food poisoning? These are products of environment that are not well managed. That is the first P. The second P is that we need to be proactive. We don't have to wait. I mean, Ogun is the best example. Anytime I talk to the Honorable Minister and I say, Honorable Minister, we have done this, and that, he says, but Tunde, you don't have Lassa. I said, but we don't have to wait to have Lassa. So we've been proactive. And of course, continue to pray. So those are my 3 Ps.
Dr. Babatunde, I want to thank you so much indeed for sharing your time and your thoughts on this very vexing issue of Lassa fever spread across Nigeria. Thank you so much indeed for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it. And now it's been on the program this week. Share your thoughts though with me on Twitter at _Gimba Omar and use the hashtag State of the Nation. Till we come your way again, I am Gimba Omar and this is State of the Nation.